Live on, let's see, it looks like we're live on Facebook, on my page, Landlord Coach page, and on YouTube. I hope you're having a great day. So, yes, I want to talk to you. How deliberate are you? And what do I mean by specifically how deliberate are you being? That's the important thing when we're looking to craft our business, craft our lives, basically do the things that we're really set out to do. How deliberate are you about that? Okay. And I want to tell you a quick story. So my bride and I had gone to a diner, and it was a diner down in Indianapolis. And it was one we had not been to before. In fact, it was a previous diner. It was under new ownership. And one of the interesting things that we saw with that is as we walked in, there was a woman there who specifically, she was very deliberate. She was very deliberate and obviously had been trained to be very deliberate on being, on focusing on the customer experience. And I'll tell you, it was very, very, it was shockingly almost unnerving in terms of how deliberate this person was, because as soon as we walked in, the place was very busy. And it was around it was late morning, so it was around kind of brunchish time, so it wouldn't be unusually busy, but it was very, very busy. But there's lots of choices in that neighborhood where you could go for brunch, breakfast, dinner, breakfast or lunch. So we went to this place. Well, obviously this place was under new ownership, and when we went in, the lady had specifically asked us. She came up a little bit busy. You could tell she was a bit frenetic. And she stopped and she said, "Oh, have you been here before?" And we said, "No, never been here." And it was in that moment that you could see the mental shifting of gears that went on in this woman, right? So she had a menu, and she was like, and she stopped and she was like, and you could see her demeanor change. She goes, "Oh, well, let me introduce myself. My name is Dee." And she went on and she said, "Let me explain to you how our specials work." And at that moment in time, you could tell that she was incredibly deliberate about making sure that our experience was one that we would never forget. And at that point, she basically indoctrinated us into and basically onboarded us as new members, as new clients of that establishment. Now, she turned around. She said, "If you look on that board right there, it looks like they're just changing over from the breakfast special to the lunch special. You can ask for the breakfast special if you want. But they are probably wrapping it up at this point. So if you did, you probably want to get that in soon." She talked about the special here. She talked about just different things. And at that moment in time, she said, "Did you guys have any questions?" And we were, no. We didn't know what questions to ask, but we were shocked at how incredibly deliberate she was about making sure that the onboarding process for new clients was done purposeful and done well. Because when you take that time and you can be purposeful about whatever it is, like in this particular case, she wanted to make sure that our first experience there was one that we were going to remember, because then subsequently we can go back and say, "Hey, have you been here before?" We'd say, "No, yeah, we've been here once before." Then she can kind of go on to her, "Oh, okay, great, so you know about the specials, about this, that," and then she can move on in a much in kind of a more rapid pace. But again, the first time she took to onboard us, she was incredibly intentional, incredibly deliberate. So the reason I bring that up is because I had a few people reach out to me recently who wanted to start. Am I talking about Milk Tooth? I don't think it's Milk Tooth. To be candid, I don't even remember the name, but it's down near Ditch in Indianapolis, David. So I don't know. It's right behind the MCL cafeteria on I think it's 86th and Ditch, if I remember right. But I honestly won't remember the name of the restaurant, but I believe it was where the Egg and I was. Anyway, let you figure that out. But anyway, my point about all that is how incredibly deliberate are we with our with what it is that we're trying to accomplish, right? So I have a lot of people that reach out to me that say, "Hey, I want to get into real estate. I want to, I want to create this lifestyle. I want, I'm tired of working for the man. I'm tired of doing, toiling and not really getting ahead. I want to do my own thing." And there's lots of times I ask people, okay, that's fantastic. I'm glad to hear you say that. If that's purposeful for you, if that's really what you want. Now, let me just be candid with you. That creating a business is not for everybody. It's challenging, and there's lots of you're swapping old problems for new problems. It's not for everybody, and for some people, you're going to get the most amount of time freedom by working a job that basically you can check your brain at the door when you leave, that you don't have to worry about. And for many of you, I mean, I'm and I'll do the big reveal here on with my property flip that's coming up. But for many of you, you think you want to get into this wholesaling and house flipping and all this stuff because it's fun and you're going to make a lot of money. But in the reality is you may be making more money and have more time freedom at the job that you're at right now. So I would challenge you, and how deliberate are you being with the free time that you have now? How deliberate are you being with your lifestyle output now? I realized I was being incredibly purposeless when I spend a bunch of time on Facebook and scrolling and getting into arguments on things that really don't, at the end of the day, matter, about politics and nonsense and all that stuff. I just stopped doing that. I just stopped engaging in stuff like that. Now, there were some people who I definitely needed to excise from my life because they were just life force vampires. And if you suck as an individual, you're not going to be in my circle. But that excision and that decision to live a more purposeful and deliberate lifestyle that's based on what my life output is and what I want my life output to be. I really enjoy teaching. I really enjoy coaching. I really enjoy doing this. I'm really deliberate about, people call this my podcast, right? Like, I don't really know that I would call it that, but I guess if others are calling it that, I suppose that this is what it is. But I had a few people reach out to me recently that said, "Hey, if it wasn't for, your podcast being inspirational, I don't know that I would have taken the opportunity and gotten the gumption to move forward and do my own thing on the side, whether it's a side hustle or whatever it is." And the purpose for these podcasts are really more for inspiration than anything else. I don't sell stuff through these podcasts. I don't. That's not the purpose of these. It really is more to drive people to a better state of themselves. I feel like I'm a natural influencer. And what I mean by influencer is I feel like I'm naturally bringing people to better states of themselves, right? I think that's my superpower. That's something I'm just naturally good at. Now, there's plenty of things I'm not good at. Just ask my staff, right? Being organized. I would turn my camera 90 degrees if you want to see my desk. That's a disaster. There's other things that this is just one of the things I just know that I'm good at. There's plenty of things, I promise you, and my wife could attest, of things that I'm not good at. But the point is that I get to focus, I get to be deliberate about the things that I am naturally good at. Okay. So that's where, that's why I recently, and I have a success I'd like to share with you guys, that, I got invited to be a speaker on the national RIA. So the national RIA is kind of like the mothership. The RIA is the Real Estate Investment and Real Estate Investors Association. So the national RIA is having a cruise at the end of February that I got invited to be one of the speakers at. So I'm really super excited about that. I get to deliver a bunch of value to the members there, and very, very excited. And it's super timely because that is happening. So at the end of February, it's the last week in February. So it doesn't break my heart that it's actually in the wintertime. But my bride gets to join me. And I said to the lady, Rebecca McLean, who's the national director, she's like, would you like to come? I said, that is fantastic. I said, the thing is, it's the end of February and we come back on March 1st, which is my wedding anniversary with my bride. And she says, "Oh, well, that's great." I said, "Yeah." And I said, "If I don't bring my bride on this cruise, all my stuff's going to wind up in the yard when I get back." So she said, "You can bring your wife." So we get to have this quasi, sixth, we get to have another honeymoon, I suppose. and we're really looking forward to that. I've never been on a cruise before, so looking forward to that. But that's one of the successes that I have, and I feel that a lot of it is driven towards driving value from this. Now, a couple other things I do want to plug real fast, just for some people who have been supporting me, not just the national RIA, but the local RIA here, the Indiana State RIA. If you are interested, they are having their state conference on the 17th and 18th. And that's the Indiana State RIA. If you are interested, I will post that on my page. You'll see stuff coming up on the Facebook page on the Landlord Coach site, on the Landlord Coach side of things. But I will be one of the roundtable speakers there. So if you are interested in buy and hold investing or the VIP method, I can post that on there. But that's one of the things. Again, these are people that have helped me out tremendously, and I just want to be able to help them out. So if you are interested in the real estate side of things, and those are two really, really good. I'm not sure that the cruise has still got any open slots, but I do know that the Indiana State RIA, I know that there is tickets available still. One other quick thing I do want to plug is Monday night. That is this coming Monday, the 25th. At 6 p.m., I'm going to be hosting a VIP Method webinar, and I'm going to be giving away some cool stuff. If you are interested, it's going to be about 90 minutes. I know it sounds a little bit long, but it'll be Monday night. So it'll be, I know around supper time, but I've had some people that said, doing the webinars during the middle of the day is just tough for them. So I'm doing one on Monday night. It will be at 6 p.m. Allow for about 90 minutes. If you are interested, please email me at mark@landlordcoach.com. I'll just plug it in that way. And that way you can be a part of the webinar, and it'll be on Zoom. So you'll maybe need to download the Zoom software beforehand, but it's going to be, you'll be in a room with a number of other people. If you've got questions based on, that or any real estate specific questions, you're allowed to ask. Generally, I don't do these too often. So if you are interested in the VIP method, and let's say if you have not read the Time Wealthy Investor 2.0, this gets you a really kind of a quick start way of getting going. And I'm going to be, like I said, giving you away some cool stuff that's going to be related to the Time Wealthy Investor 2.0. That way, if you are not a reader, this is something that can kind of get you jump started and going from there. So I'll give you a quick hint. I'll be giving away a free workbook. So if you are interested, one final thing, I am going to be doing I know that there's a Black Friday sale that's going on with everybody selling stuff on Black Friday. So of course I have to follow suit. But no, I've been actually putting together the Time Wealthy Beginner series, and that is going to be available for release on Friday as I've been working up to this. So if you are interested in the Time Wealthy Beginner, probably wouldn't be a bad idea for you to attend the webinar, because I'm going to be giving some specific pricing to those who attend. So if that's all I have for today, thank you, all of you, for your support, and always for your questions and your comments, and just for all the kindness that all of you have reached out to both me and my family. It really means a lot to all of us. So thanks so very much. Remember, if you don't place a value on your free time, someone else will. And most important, there is no amount of money that will make time irrelevant. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk again soon. See ya.